This particular piece of equipment has been in my life for more than half a year now, and only recently I realized that it is not cheap. For months, if not years, I watched YouTube videos on this particular piece of equipment as part of a iPad setup that I haven't even begun to think of it as that I haven't even begun to think of buying an iPad without one. I think it was probably because I was watching or reading content on the more expensive version of the iPad, so like I didn't really think of it as a financially substantial upgrade. In fact, to illustrate my point, I have drawn up a little something on my iPad. Oops, sorry. Basically, it's a little graph thing that basically shows that if you buy a maxed out, this one right here, a maxed out iPad Pro 12.9 inch, the cellular version or whatever, with the Magic Keyboard, the Apple Pencil represents only like 4.73% out of that price. And if you buy a regular iPad, the Apple Pencil is a mind-boggling 40%. So you can understand how it's a much bigger financial risk, so to say, if you have a regular iPad than when you compare it to like a more expensive version of the iPad.
It's math, motherfucker.
It wasn't until somebody asked me recently why I bought it that I realized that I don't really know the answer. So that's why I made this video, to help you figure out if you should or shouldn't buy the Apple Pencil. There's really a couple of features that I could come up with that makes the Apple Pencil truly worth it. The first one is actually one of the main reasons why I bought an iPad in the first place, which is to take notes at university. Whether I'm using Notability or just Apple's default notes-taking app, the Apple Pencil lets me combine the advantages of writing down digitally, taking notes digitally so that I can have them cross-platform, with the straightforwardness of just writing down whatever I feel like, whenever I want, Similarly, actually, working in the, graphics department, if you will, is one of the most popular reasons for getting an Apple Pencil, whether it's drawing, editing photo, or even a video. The iPad having some of the best screen on the market, combine that with an app like Procreate or Photoshop, really just, it feels wrong not to embrace this creative side of it all, And actually, speaking of sides that we have to embrace, it's time to get real. Any person that buys an Apple product is really just trying to say, hey, I'm better than you. And what better way of showing your superiority than by buying a magnetic white stick with the Apple logo on it? I mean, come on. Look at this fabulous guy. The moment you take away his power source, it's like he doesn't even exist. In all seriousness, the Apple Pencil is a gadget that makes the whole iPad experience just better. It's extremely easy to take screenshots, edit them, and share them. You can take quick notes just by dragging from the bottom right corner. Even something as tapping on the screen is just more pleasant to do with a pencil. I think the Apple Pencil is one of those things that you don't actually necessarily use that much in the beginning, but once you get used to it, it's kind of hard to go back to, using your finger. I mean, come on, what are we in, like the Stone Age or something? Right? No. So why shouldn't you buy an Apple Pencil? Let's get the obvious out of the way. Unless you crap money on a daily basis, you're probably not gonna want to spend $130 on a stick that makes the tapping experience more pleasant. If you're not going to use it for something related to graphic design like drawing or editing the photos, or for note taking like I do at university, it's probably not that obvious of a choice. Lucky for you, I actually have some advice, if you will. I came across this comment when I was researching for myself whether the Apple Pencil is worth it or not. It was on Quora on a post with a similar topic, and basically there was this guy that said something along the lines of, I didn't buy the Apple Pencil until I realized that some of my tasks would be made easier if I had one, something like that. Basically what it means is that you should, maybe if you have doubts about buying an Apple Pencil, you should probably use an iPad without one for a certain amount of time, and then you can assess the, I don't know, situation or whatever, and kind of see, you know, if you feel like maybe some of your tasks, though you use your iPad for, would be made easier by having a pencil, you know. Maybe you would benefit from a productivity point of it all to, you know, own such a device. And if not, maybe you don't need one, you know. I think that's probably the best way to go about it. My opinion, which at this point might be a bit obvious, is that while the Apple Pencil is not necessarily for everyone, it truly makes the whole iPad experience more enjoyable. And I mean it when I say that once you start using it, you're not going to want to go back. Anyway, thank you for watching. You can continue your iPad journey by watching this video on the top accessories for the iPad Pro, or this one on why the iPad Pro is totally worth money and you should buy it, especially the iPad Pro M1 that I have and I own and I made this video on. See ya.